Hi, welcome to the 3-day workshop for History Optional. Today we'll be specifically talking about the sources which you should read for History Optional. Okay, the 3-day workshop will focus on sources, answer writing, and then the most important topics. Hi, I'm Vikas Ahlawat and I'll be taking you through all these important areas to understand the History Optional. Let us start right away. So, today we'll be first discussing about the utility of this session. क्यों कर रहे हैं भाई, क्या जरूरत है इसकी, ठीक है. Second, we'll talk about the basic book list which all of you are going to study for the history option. And third, within these books, I'm going to show you the indexes of these books, and on the basis of that, I'm going to tell you which topic is important and which topic is not important. So if you can just stay with me for the next 20 minutes, you'll be able to understand in depth what you can do to get more than 300 marks. Yes, this is correct. Okay, so let us start right away. So, in the part 1, we are going to talk about utility. Just 1 minute. Why? If you are not going to target the UPSC syllabus, naturally what is going to happen, you will not be able to have time management. If you are reading 5 books for ancient India, suppose, okay, then the time that you have for the rest of the syllabus is going to decline. You will not be able to make notes, you will not be able to do answer writing. If you are not going to do answer writing, you will have very less confidence. Okay, so we have to target the syllabus, number 1. Second, when we will target, we'll have time management. We have to finish the optional within 5 to 6 months. Very important. Third, if you're able to do this, you have to limit your resources. You can easily retain and recall whatever you have learned. Fourth, if you read one source 10 times, your level of understanding will be different from the people who have read 10 different sources only once. So make it very clear, UPSC is going to check the depth of understanding in your optional. And if you're not following this rule, frankly, you're not going to score very well. And finally, most important part, these standard books are very important because UPSC makes questions from them, and if you're not following them, somehow your answer writing will also will suffer because of this. So as a result, we have to follow this specific part. All right, this is going to create a kind of utility for all of you, so please focus. Next part, identifying the relevant sources. For identifying these relevant sources, I have gone through number 1, the syllabus of history optional. Okay, second, I have seen all the previous year question papers, and third, I have also analyzed these books independently. I have read them when I was preparing for civil services. I scored the highest marks in history optional. After that, I am teaching from last 5 years. So keeping this all in perspective, what we can understand very clearly is that these books are going to work for you. We will be able to get the result in 2021 rank 1. This year specifically, we have got large number of toppers from our test series as well as from our crash courses. So let us start with the book list. For ancient India, there are only 2 books. Number 1, RS Sharma. The second is Upinder Singh. Just read these 2 books. Yes, don't read any other book, Ranjan Chakrabarti, A.L. Bhasham, etc., etc. There are so many books for ancient India. Limit yourself to these 2. We'll discuss in depth later on along with the indexes. Okay. For medieval India, yes, I'm not recommending Satish Chandra. Let's make it very clear that book is okay from GS point of view, from optional point of view. It's a very one-sided book and doesn't take into account economy, foreign policy, etc., etc. And even the syllabus of UPSC is directly made from BA IGNOU. Yes, BA IGNOU, not MA IGNOU. Keep that in mind. So 4 parts are there. We'll go into the depth of all of them, okay, later on. Let us go towards modern India. In modern India, 2 books are quintessential. You cannot leave them. B.L. Grover and second is Placid to Partition. Along with this, little bit of some chapters can be read from Bipin Chandra and India Since Independence. I'll tell you specifically which chapters. Okay, so limit yourself to these 2 primary books and 2 books just for the sake of 2-3 chapters. For modern world, only 2 books. The primary book will remain Ranjan Chakrabarti and it will be supported for some part of the syllabus by Norman Lowe. Okay, so these 2 books, so these are the books which you're going to refer for history optional. If you're reading any other book from this, okay, you are reading at your own specific risk. It's not my recommendation. Please keep this in mind. Just by doing this much, I was able to get 324. Just by doing this much, many of my friends were able to get 300 marks. Even my students have been able to get 290, 300 marks. That is very easy because source is only going to reduce your basic level problem. After that, the main problem will start, that is answer writing. And third, preparing the most important topics. So we are just at level 1. So from that point of view, let us just see which part of which book is important. All right. and please limit yourself to that. Okay, just trust for a while. So first we'll start with this Upinder Singh. So in Upinder Singh, if you see, we have roughly 10 chapters. Okay, out of these 10 chapters, exam specific, which are the specific area, let me just mark it for you. Number 1, the ideas of early Indian past. You have to read it. Why? It provides you basic information about the development of Indian historiography, starting from the colonial school all the way up to the subaltern school. Basic level problem will be solved even for your interview. So please read it. Okay. Sources, very important chapter. Okay, very important chapter, covers literary as well as archaeological sources. Some specific pages are to be read. We have already shared the PDF with all of you. We'll share it one more time in our Telegram channel, as well as the link will be given on the YouTube. Okay, so you can just register for that. Sources you have to cover from this book. This book covers sources very beautifully. Chapter 1, very important. Chapter 2, 3, not that much important. Okay, you have heard this right, not that much important. Reason being, they are mostly important from map point of view. Doesn't cover, UPSC is not asking question from there. Whatever I'm saying, I'm just saying from paper point of view. I'm not saying it just from the sake of understanding each and every part of history to such a detail that you will become a professor of very high level. I'm not talking about that. Okay, I'm just saying from exam point of view, 2 and 3 are not that much important. All right. So don't make any specific notes, etc., about it. UPSC hardly asks any question from these chapters, and they are more important from map point of view. And the problem with Upinder Singh, with any other book with respect to map, is the pointing is not correct. There are always going to be fluctuation in each other map. You'll see हर जगह गलतियां मिलने वाली है. So map के लिए you have to come up with a different solution. It's not going to happen with just with the books. Many students wait there 2-3 years and then join my course. Okay, so the easy way would be you can just go with the course, and it's going to help you out. In within 5 classes you will get the best material that is possible for the map. Chapter number 4, Harappan civilization, very important. Focus on its rise as well as decline. These two are the most important themes. All the important historical debates are covered. Chapter number 4 is very important. When we come to chapter number 5, Upinder Singh has not covered Vedic period very well. That's why I would just tell you the chapter from RS Sharma, from where you have to supplement it. Okay, so you have to supplement it with that. From note making point of view, chapter 1 and chapter 4 are very important. 2, 3 you may read. Okay, you may read even chapter 5, but too much is not given with respect to the syllabus. All right, so just read it. But for Vedic period, I would go for RS Sharma rather than this Upinder Singh. Number 6. In number 6, the most important topic is with respect to the renunciants. It covers Buddhism and Jainism. My major focus in chapter number 6 would be on that. The first part is more about Mahajanapada, which is very easy, not that much I would say important information is given. It's basically one important debate is with respect to monarchy versus the republics. That you can do very well. Major focus will be on renunciants. All right, keep that in mind. Chapter number 7, important. Maurya remains most important topic for all of us, and that you have to cover very importantly. All right, chapter number 10. This chapter number 10 is more important from early medieval period point of view. Some of these areas are already covered in the BA IGNOU of the medievals. That's why I would not pay much attention to chapter number 10. I would pay attention to chapter number 9. It covers Gupta specifically. But from Gupta, UPSC is mostly asking those questions which are from architecture or administration. So accordingly, I will also shift towards those areas. Okay. Interaction and innovation. Once UPSC asks a direct question, if interaction, how do you think that this age of 200 BC to 300 BC was an age of interaction and innovation? How would you react? Okay. So for all the chapters, at least remember number 1, their headings, because a direct question can come on this. All right. But from exam point of view, let me just make it very clear, just for the sake of having no doubts. Okay. This is important. Chapter 1 is important. 4, 5 you may read, but it will not cover everything. So very less part of 5th is important. 6, my major focus will be on renunciant. Chapter number 7, I'll read complete. Okay. If we see chapter number 8, 9, 10, they are very lengthy. Okay. So from 8, my major focus would be on art and architecture, and little bit of understanding of the polity of the post-Mauryan period from chapter number 8. Satavahanas is not given very well in Upinder Singh. That's why for that I'll recommend NCERT. Aesthetics and empire. Focus on administration, focus on their architecture, focus on specifically the achievements in science and technology. This is very important from chapter number 9. Chapter number 10, you may even skip it because it will be covered in the early medieval period of the book, which you will refer for the IGNOU itself. All right. So these are the chapters which you have to read. Please keep it in mind. If you reduce your burden, you can perform very well. Okay. So please keep this in mind. From NCERT, the significance of ancient Indian history, not very important from optional point of view, but for essay specifically, this is a very good topic. 2 not required, 3 already covered from there, 4, 5, 6 you can leave all of them. Okay. 7, 8 you can just have a basic reading of this. Okay, because even UPSC asks this basic level question if they're going to ask in the optional. So as such difficult question are not coming from Harappa. I will not study from here. I will read 11, 12 and 13 for the sake of the Vedic period. Jainism and Buddhism, if you want to understand in a very easy manner, you will read chapter number 14, but from exam point of view, you have to depend upon Upinder Singh, which I have already marked from that book specifically. Okay? Magda Mahajanpada, we wish to read, you can read from here. Invasions, this is very important, not given very well in Upinder Singh. So I will read chapter number 16 also. Okay? 17, 18, 19, we can leave, we don't have to read. So please mark them down, all these important ones. Okay, because at least my approach is has always been पहले सबसे minimum काम करो, ठीक है, which is productive in nature, and then go for the expansion. What happens with all of us when we start the preparation, we are always in expansion mode कि भाई best कर देंगे, सारी book पढ़ लेंगे, ये कर देंगे, वो कर देंगे, last में फिर कुछ भी नहीं हो पाता है. So keep this in mind. Then Satavahana you have to do from here, as well as Megalithic and Sangam. These 2 chapters are important. Okay, so you can do it from here itself. All right. Then Gupta you can already do from there, not required specifically. Harsha you have to read from here because it is not given very well in Upinder Singh. Okay. If you do this much, if you wish to understand the early medieval period and its changes, you can read 31, 32 and 33 is specifically for the part of science and civilization. So that also you can read to get a complete overview of ancient India. But while reading RS Sharma, please understand the views are of RS Sharma only. There is no other author which is mostly involved in this. That's why you have to just focus that whatever is given, it's from Marxist approach, and it would be better if you incorporate the viewpoint from Upinder Singh, but just information can be taken from NCERT. So these 2 things if you are able to do, will get a very good score in ancient India. Plus don't forget that map ki practice karni hai. 50 marks depend upon that, and that is not given very well in either NCERT or there. Okay, it would be better to get the toppers notes directly, or you can just join our course also for understanding it. If we see medieval India, there are 4 booklets specifically, starting from 750 all the way up to the 18th century. Let us just mark, because these all 4 books, they are the new IGNOU. Previous IGNOU material also contained the detailed syllabus. Okay, so let us see here also. So Rajputs, okay, this is important. Chapter number 2 you have to remember. Okay, Rashtrakutas, Palas, Cholas and Chalukya, chapter number 4. Art and architecture is given in your Upinder Singh also, for temple architecture, etc. So if you are doing from there, you can leave it from here. Arab conquest of Sindh, Turkish invasion, Ghazni, Guri, social and cultural technological impact of these invasions. Okay, so chapter number 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. Okay, feudalism debate, chapter number 10, you have to do this. All right, merchant guilds and urbanization, this is a very important topic. Development in religion of these times. All right, language and literature, very important theme, chapter number 16. Every year 1 question in literature coming in ancient, similarly 1 question is coming even in the medieval India. So these are the most important chapter from the first part of this. Okay, second part, if we go towards this, unit 2, Delhi Sultanate. Okay, Sultan, nobility and ulema, administrative structure, Deccan kingdom. So these are the direct topics. Okay, direct topics which are from our optional. So that's why here we have to just, since we are depending only upon one source, we cannot leave many chapters. Okay, so be very ready with it. But land administration, agrarian classes, technology, urban, so all of them becomes important. Bhakti, Sufi, every year one, this you can leave chapter number 16, not that much required. Okay, then paintings, unit number 19. So this is what you have to do from book number 2. Since I am recommending only one source specifically for medieval India, we are covering more chapters from. I am not going to recommend you Satish Chandra because UPSC is not asking many questions from there. All right. Here if we see, then here the Afghan polity, okay, Mughals, Nayaks, historiography, kingship. So all these units which I am marking, please mark them along with me so that it becomes easy for you to prepare them, okay, on your own also, and you can join the foundation course also if you wish to do them along with the very high level of pace as well as getting the finalized notes. State and religion as well as patronage of literary culture. All these themes are important from this third unit. All right, let us now move towards the fourth one. I am doing this in a bit of a hurry because otherwise the video will become very long. Okay, and those of you who have come for specific information will be like, यार क्या time waste हो रहा है ना? That's why we are doing it here. Here, please focus on literary tradition. All right. Here you have to focus upon Marathas, Rajputs, even the Sikh power, because one or the other year these topics keeps on repeating. Okay, so please try to understand this. You can understand artisanal group also. These two chapters are just like that of Dalit Sultan, so you can combine them and read them together. Okay, so not much difference you're going to find. Religious ideas, movements, state, religion, society, architecture, painting, and diverse tradition. All of this becomes very tradition. You can read unit number 17 also if you wish to understand the subaltern history, but more important from exam, not from more important from interview point of view, not from exam point of view. And Mughal decline and disintegration. So 18th century remains a very important topic. Every year you will find one question from here. All right. So I hope you have to limit yourself first. Okay. Thereafter, if you wish to read any other book, then go for it. Otherwise, please don't waste your time. Time is very precious. You have to prepare for general studies also, essay, prelims, CSAT, etc., etc. Many things are there. Optional is just one part of it. Okay. So that's something which I want all of you to understand. We come to one of the most important book for modern India. Okay, so here if we see chapter 1, it's again the decline of the Mughal Empire. So it is, since we have already done it from that source, no need to go for 1.1. Okay, second is emergence of regional power. So we can start with 1.2. Third, 1.3, foundation of the British Empire. But the states are not covered in very big detail in the Sekhar Bandopadhyay. So we'll do this from BL Grover. I'll tell you specifically the chapters later on. 2.1 is not that much important from exam point of view, but just to get an understanding, what was this imperial ideology. So I won't make much notes from 2.1. This is just for the sake of understanding. 2.2 is important. Okay, 3, 4, 5. 2.3 and 2.5. These two covers the whole of the economic impact of the British rule on India. So 2.3 and 2.5 are very important. 2.4 is just for understanding what was the apparatus of the rule, army, police, judicial system, the relationship with the princes also. So that is given 2.4, not very important from exam point of view, but 2.3 and 2.5 are very important. 2.2 also has come many times. So 2.2, 2.3 and 2.5, I'll consider them very important from this book. Okay. Chapter 3, social and religious reform, peasant and tribal movement and revolt of 1857. Chapter 3 complete, very important, you have to read it full, you cannot leave it. Indian nationalism 4.1, important just for the sake of understanding what is nationalism, but too much of history, don't remember it. Just remember 4 to 5 historians on Indian historiography of nationalism, not more than that. Okay, that is important. Then agrarian society and peasant discontent is a continuation of your 3.2. okay, so you just need to साथ में पढ़ सकते हो ना, whatever is left there साथ में पढ़ सकते हो. New middle class, emergence of nationalism. So here also we found many debates, not much relevant from the exam point of view. Just have a broad overview. Don't make notes of each and every small thing. That is not required from 4.3. Okay, 4.2 is more important, and then 4.4 is very important. The foundation of the Congress has been asked by UPSC multiple times. Alright, so I had taken one session specifically for the reading, how to read Sekhar Bandopadhyay, how to consume knowledge from this, and how to make it exam relevant. Specifically for this part, 6.4, civil disobedience movement. So what you can do, I will put them is in the I button. You can just watch it, how to read Sekhar Bandopadhyay. So if you just read it like I am doing, then you can get very good marks. You can make notes also. Every problem of yours will get solved if you learn how to just read this book. This book is very, I would say, elaborate. Moderate and economic nationalism, again important with this Savdeshi. Muslim politics and the foundation of Muslim, 5.4. UPSC is not asking many questions from there, but 5.1 to 5.3, these three parts are very important. Alright, 6.1 important, 2, 3. Here 6.5 not that much important from this book because we are going to do this from BL Grower also. So you may leave 6.5, but 6.1 to 4 are important. Alright. Number 7, Muslim alienation. Why did it lead to the creation of Pakistan is given very well, but UPSC is not asking many questions. Just for the understanding purpose, it is okay, but exam not that much. Second, again, non-Brahmin and Dalit protest. UPSC is not asking questions from the 7.1 and 2 will be less on my priority list. I may read it, but will not make much notes from this. Okay. Business and politics important, 7.4. UPSC started asking questions from these small areas, 7.3, 7.4. Okay, and another important part is 7.5, which pertains to the women participation in the national struggle. So 7.5 is important. Please remember it. Okay, Quit India, Turbulent 40, and Towards Freedom with Partition. All three parts are important because UPSC asks a lot of questions for them. I am not going to read chapter number 9 from Sekhar Bandopadhyay. Reason being, for post-independence, it would be better to go towards Bipin Chandra. We'll share a PDF with you which chapters are important from Bipin Chandra, both from struggle for independence as well as India since independence. Consolidation as a nation is there are 4 chapters in that. Those 4 are the most important one. Just go through them. That will be important for the post-independence. Don't read chapter number 9. Not required. Okay. I'm trying to reduce your burden, and if you're going to follow this, you'll thank me later on कि भाई at least चलो ठीक है, गलती नहीं हुई. BL Grower, very good book for pre-1857 period. Let us see. The first one is not required because we have already done it from the medieval. Achievement of early Peshwa, you can just have a basic understanding of the first 2 important Peshwa. Okay, and the important chapter would be Third Battle of Panipat. So chapter 2 becomes important. 3 for understanding the Maratha administration under the Peshwa. Again, chapter number 4, 5. These 2 are very important. UPSC is asking 2 to 3 questions from the states. So 4 and 5 became important. 2 and 3 direct questions are not coming as such. Just for the sake of understanding, it is required. Plus, focus on the problems within the Maratha polity. Second, what was the role of these important Peshwas in the expansion of the Maratha Empire? So 2 and 3 not that much important. 4, 5 very important. Buxar as well as Plassey both are given in chapter number 5. Maximum priority should be given to this. 4 as well as the fight between the Anglo and French. So 4 and 5 very important. 6, I'll just pick few points on duplex, positive and negative. Don't read too much. Don't go too much into this. Okay, only the surface level will work. Similar is chapter number 7. What is important from chapter number 7 is this dual administrative system. Okay, and what were the problems which were directly linked to this? So chapter number 7 is important from that point of view. If we see from Warren Hastings, read administrative revenue, judicial and commercial reforms. Okay, regulating act and its problems. Thereafter, these are not that much important. First Anglo and Anglo-Maratha war, second Anglo-Mysore war, that is going to be important. Just read the estimate from BL Grower. Read the select opinions. Okay, UPSC is always going to give you these weird kinds of comment in 10 marker, and that can be easily solved with the help of understanding the background of these comments from the BL Grower itself. Administrative reforms, Cornwallis is very important. Okay, just like we had read in Sekhar Bandopadhyay how the system was created for the various parts for judicial, police, revenue, etc. etc. So अगर वो पढ़ रहे हो साथ में पढ़ लो. It will be easy. Permanent settlement is given in this. Okay, that how you can do this. Subsidiary alliance system is given chapter number 10. So please read advantage, disadvantage, etc. That is something. Estimate is important. Tipu Sultan again very important. Lord Hastings not that much important from exam point of view. Only the one part, his policy towards Marathas. Anglo-Maratha struggle for supremacy. So these 3 wars are important. States are always important. UPSC always asks question on them. But UPSC has not been asking question on treaty. They are asking mostly about the internal problems within Marathas. So I would also focus on that. Okay, let us see further. Chapter number 11, important William Bentinck. Just remember some of the reforms which are done by him and then his estimate. Don't read full chapter from page 1 till page last. That is not going to solve the problem. We have to just understand from exam point of view. Chapter number 15, important from annexation of Sindh. Career and achievement of Ranjan Singh, yes, important, but more focus would be on the treaty he signed with the British and how his behavior eventually led the British to realize that he is not going to fight with them. All right, so that's why this stance eventually led to problems for the Punjab after his death in 1839. Punjab and the Anglo-Sikh wars, okay, these two you have to do specifically. Dalhousie also you have to do, all right. These land revenue 19 onwards not required, we have already covered it from the Sekhar Bandopadhyay, okay. So 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. These were the important chapter that we had to cover from B.L. Grover, okay, majority of it. Let me just see if any other relevant chapter is there, because 19, 20, 21, this will become repetitive. So don't read from here. Revolt we have done, okay. Policy of Lytton and Ripon, you can read chapter number 24, okay. Curzon policy 25, you can read, all right. Education chapter number 21, if you want to have some overview of the overall education, then you can do that. History of press, little bit. Education press can be read, all right, because it is not given very well in Sekhar Bandopadhyay. That is the reality. Socialist reform we have done, this is not required. Indian national movement, don't read from here, not required. Sekhar Bandopadhyay covers 10 times better than this, okay, from exam point of view. This is not about any author, okay. So we are not going to do famine policy specifically. You can read chapter number 38, okay, because UPSC asks a lot of questions on this. Local self-governance, you can have a brief overview. Acts 40, 41, I would read acts from this, positive and negative. This will be important for your polity preparation as well as your optional, okay. 42, 43. So acts are going to be important till, even you can go even up to 44, so that you have a complete understanding of how the framework was developed, all right. That's it. इसके बाद आपको इससे पढ़ने का जरूरत नहीं है, आगे की जरूरत नहीं है, just leave it here, all right. So these are the important chapter. I know a little bit of more chapter, but this book is very important for our optional, because even the comments come. आप chapters देख लीजिए, the comments given in the beginning of this, you will find them in your PYQ, and that is the way you should understand. Let us just see world history also. Ranjan Chakrabarti. So Ranjan Chakrabarti is a book which is a concise kind of book, all right, and it has been made from a very bulky book, all right. So this is just like notes. तो इसके notes बनाने की ज़्यादा ज़रूरत नहीं है. What I would read from this chapter number 1, yes, very important. 2, French Revolution, important for me, okay. 3 also will cover the European revolutions, all right. 4th, Industrial Revolution, very important. 5 also, nationalism, all right. So far it's a book which you can read cover to cover, but leaving few chapters which are not very important. Let me just tell you that, okay. American Civil War is not given very well in many of the books, given very well here. Eastern question not given in very well in majority of the books. A specific chapter is dedicated here. First World War I will shift to Norman Lowe, so that's why I'm not going to read chapter number 8 from here. 9 you'll read Arab nationalism. It is given, not given directly in your optional, but UPSC asks a question from this. So chapter number 9 becomes important, okay. I can read chapter number 10 also, but not the whole chapter. I can read specifically the Russian Revolution of 1917, and similarly the revolution with respect to the Chinese, okay. Japan, imperialism and modernism can be read. Fascism and Nazism is given very well in Norman Lowe. So I will not read chapter number 12, not even chapter number 13, because we don't have to just read too many books on the same topic. That is not going to increase our understanding. It's one book multiple times. I will leave the rest, okay. Even though for a beginner you can read the whole book, but exam points से देखें तो Norman Lowe provides you better information for some of the topics. That's why chapter number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, read all 5 from this. Even 6, chapter number 6 is important. 6 and 7 and 9. Then rest can even be done very well from the second book. So let us go to the second book directly. Okay, so First World War given very well along with historiography, so it becomes a very relevant source. First World War, League of Nations directly given, international relation in between, okay, from 1933 to 39, Second World War, Cold War, even the spread of communism. So initial all the 8 chapters, they are important from Norman Lowe. We have left this chapter from Ranjan Chakrabarti because here it is given in a better manner. Chapter number 9, 10, okay, you have to read them. 11, if you wish to leave, you can leave. Too many questions are not going to come from there. Just a basic understanding is going to be enough. Only read 12.1. Don't read the rest. It is not important from exam point of view. Only 12.1. You can read fascism, Nazism, okay, from here. 15 is not required. 16 you can read Russia as well as its revolutions. Okay, chapter number 16. Then chapter number 17, once UPSC is asked question from Stalin, so it may get repeated. All right. Then the focus would be on the 18 also. You can read just Chinese revolution 19.3, 19.4. These two are the most important one. 20 is not required. 21 you can read communism in Korea. Vietnam is the most important topic. Okay, 21.2 for the sake of exam. 22 not required. You can just read these two things. What was Great Depression and the Roosevelt and the New Deal. 23 not required. 24 is important, decolonization. 25 again you don't have to read all the countries. Just see the problems and challenges in Africa which is not letting it go towards the development phase, and few case study 3 to 4 countries, that is more than. Don't read cover to cover chapter number 25. Only few of the one which are the important one. Okay, important countries देख लो कौन कौन सा बड़ा बड़ा बस उनको देख लो. 26 as such direct question is not going to come from here. All right, and then not required. ठीक है. So these were the most important sources which you wanted to know for the history option, and I have covered all these important books. Please don't divert from these. Okay, if you wish to score very high marks, this is where you have to limit yourself. In the next session, I'll tell you specifically how to do answer writing, okay, with the help of the copies of the toppers, as well as I'll show you some of the model answers which we specifically give with along with our test series as well as in our foundation test series. So that is something we are going to do in the class number 2 or the session number 2, and in the third one I'll specifically outline which are the most important areas of the history optional. Okay, so this is something which I wanted to discuss with all of you, and if you are able to do this much, let's be very clear, you will get very good marks. So please limit your sources. My whole purpose of recording this lecture was for the sake of making you understand this. If you have any problem with respect to anything, you can always call on these numbers. Okay, you can join our Telegram group. You can even join our YouTube channel. All right. So that's it from my side from this day 1 of the workshop. I'll see you in the next one. Please keep learning and start executing, because without execution, it will just remain a wish. And if you go towards action, eventually you'll get a very good rank. And all the best from my side for that. Thank you so much.